They are big and they are beautiful. All right, I'm gonna show you the bane of my existence. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let's start here. This is the aquarium that is behind me on my live streams. We do a live stream every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And on the green screen behind me is video of these. These are electric blue Jack Dempsey's, along with some giant emperor tetras. I like Jack Dempsey's. They're a neat fish, but I really like the electric blue variety. They have a reputation for being delicate, let's say. They have a reputation for being hard to keep, but I have a good strain from a good supplier, and I'm basically keeping this tank and growing these up so I can show people this strain does a good job. So that's why I'm keeping these guys. I wanted to show you kind of the scale of this place. I'm up high, and there you can see everything we've got going on, including this row of 75 gallons over here that goes all the way across the back wall. It's hard to see because the 40 gallons I'll keep it blocked. Okay, here we have some platies. These are hobbyist bred and raised, so nice, healthy stock from local hobbyists. Local, I mean in the United States. And there's also a few Furcata rainbows in here. They're loving life in all that water sprite. For those who might have missed it, Simply Betta recently did a release of her Lord of the Rings aquarium featuring a bunch of ember tetras. Here's a tank of our ember tetras, and here are some amazing high-fin kohaku koi swordtails, and one little apisto down there. One little fire red agassizii. I love these swordtails, these high-fin kohakus. I think they're absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, we only have 2 males, I think, maybe 3, but they are big and they are beautiful. Here's some interesting tetras. These are the pie tetras. They're called that because if you look at the body there, you'll see in that kind of glass fish, the pie symbol, kind of where the swim bladder is, under the swim bladder. They're in here with some Amapa tetras, both fairly unusual, fairly difficult to find, and both really neat, stunning little fish. And they're in here with some albino red white guppies. That's what they are. Here's a tank of Gymnogeophagus balzani. These guys come from down in upper Argentina, lower Uruguay, kind of that more temperate area. So they can take cooler water than your average cichlid. They're more of a temperate species than a tropical species. They're going to develop, the males, these big nuchal humps on their head, kind of flower horn style. So if you like that kind of neat design, I guess, with the big humps on the head that some cichlids get, and you haven't tried these are a really neat kind of oddball cichlid. You're going to get a lot bigger than this. These are just little juveniles. You get a lot bigger, a lot more color, and big nuchal humps. I think these are perhaps the prettiest rainbow fish in the fish warehouse right now. These are right across from my desk, so I get to see them all day. And every afternoon, that front half of the fish turns black. It's morning now, so we're not going to see it, but this is Melanotania amajorensis. This is not Bosemani. I know that they look very similar, but it's not. And then down below, we have some, what I think are absolutely stunning apistos. These are the Banshai. Ooh, there's one. Or Inca 500s, I think is the other name. I think these are just spectacular, especially the females. When the females color up, they turn yellow, but not like your typical apisto. They get these black chins and these really black stripes. This one's starting to do it. She's not in full color yet, but she's starting to get there. Oh, here you go. Wait, there we go. Hopefully you can see some nice Banshai. Hopefully they'll come out and you can see some different color patterns. All right, these are some super red crebensis. Oh, they didn't like the camera at all, did they? Nope. Not looking super red right now, but I have video of previous batches that have been here long enough to color up and look really nice. And they get a really nice deep red on them. These are the bleeding blue tetras. I think these are spectacular. Red tails and red on the fins with a nice black and blue section on the body. This is my first time having these and I'm thrilled. I think they're a really neat tetra, one of the rarer tetras. Let me see if I can get them right up front on this food. If I just focus on that, maybe we'll see them hoard the food here. Well, they're so curious about the camera that they aren't really seeing the food. Give them another minute. Hopefully that blue is coming through. There we go. Anyway, the bleeding blue tetra, one of my favorite new discoveries in the tetra world. Never seen them before. This is my first group with them, and I think they're stunning. They appear to be as hardy as, your typical tetras and act in much the same way. So I don't think there's any special care or anything. I think they're just a really pretty fish that's fairly new, at least to me. I haven't seen these around much. Okay, these are Rohani barbs, Dawkinsia rohani. Look at the pattern on the tail. See how it is this kind of black diamond that extends down to the tail and kind of a thin stripe? That's how we know these are actually Rohani and not filamentosus. So I think this is the right one. For everyone that's been wanting this barb and has been disappointed because they always end up with filamentosus or filament barbs, we've got the real deal. Okay, here are some Yukihi red rice fish. I love rice fish. I guess it's probably because I like killifish so much, and these remind me of killifish. And they're here with some juvenile Onelli rainbow fish, Melanotania onelli, that we raised up here, and some mega orange. They call these the mega orange apisto. And at first I didn't know why. They kind of looked a little bit yellow, but as they've grown and developed, I'm seeing more and more orange coming in. So maybe they merit the name. There you go. See the orange coming in on those fins? Mega orange cockatoides. Truly one of my all-time favorite fish ever. These are the Tanganyikan killifish, Lamprichthys tanganyikanus. They're lampi. They get big, 4 or 5 inches, and they are zippy fast, like a danio almost. Really fast fish. These ones, we know there's some skinny ones in there. We know we need to get them up to weight. So don't worry, we're not going to send you skinny ones, but there are some nice plump fat ones in here that are ready to go. And check out how zippy they are. These are like a feeding frenzy danio type fish. They just get that food so fast. For a killifish, one of the most active killifish, I would say. Okay, we've had these red morai tropheus long enough that they're actually starting to get some nice red color. Let's see if we can draw them out with a pellet. These are the red morai tropheus, and they're still small, but they're getting a bit of the red. It's starting to come in. Okay, here are some blue German rams, along with my favorite barb. These are the drape fin barb. And when these guys dance and extend that dorsal fin up, they're a true beauty. They are a sight to behold. I love this barb. I think it's so underrated. Okay, here we have some sunrise high-fin platies. I mean, look how gorgeous these are. It's a beautiful strain. And then here is what we're calling the mystery Siamese algae eater, the mystery algae eater. We purchased true Siamese algae eaters. These came in instead, and they're the same genus, and they eat algae just as easily, but they look slightly different. They're not a flying fox. They're not a Chinese algae eater. They're definitely in the same genus. They might even just be a different location I'm not familiar with, but they're different enough that I don't want to call them true Siamese algae eaters. Okay, a little while ago, we had some nice adult spotted Rio Nene angelfish from the wild. We sold those to a customer. They spawned. Here are the babies. These are F1 spotted Rio Nene angelfish, and they look fantastic. Great job, Emily. We really love these. Okay, here is the Nanostomus equus, the dip-tail pencilfish. I don't know why, but they're one of the harder of the, more, how do you say this? Of the more readily available pencilfish, these are the hardest ones to find, something like that. Of the not super expensive pencilfish, these are one of the harder ones to find. I'm not sure why. And then we also have in this tank several giant autosynclus. Here's a close-up of one. Here's a big group of them back here. And here's a bunch of them over here as well. I really like giant autosynclus. Just a really neat flavor, I guess, of Loricariidae. Okay, more pencilfish. These are the 3-lined pencilfish. Nice batch of these guys. Doing great for us. I think these will do really well for you. Not too expensive, and just, you know, something different than the Redbeck 40. Not that the Redbeck 40 is anything to sneeze at. They're beautiful, but sometimes you want to see something different. Okay, feast your eyes on these. These are the blue ivory guppies. Look how nice this strain is. The breeder of these put in some work. The line is fairly consistent, and as far as like guppies you can source in the industry instead of like a private IFGA breeder, I think this is about top notch. So they are a little pricey for sure. They cost us quite a bit to bring in this kind of quality, but these blue ivory guppies look fantastic, and they are on top of a whole bunch of Amano shrimp. These are the red band Tropheus from Bemba, starting to get their color in, growing nicely and doing really well for us. And if you don't know, Tropheus need a lot of veggies. All right, I think this is a really fun tank. So these swordtails are babies from albino red-eyed red hyphen cauliflower females, like this one. That's one of the females. And a red cauliflower gened male that was an albino. And we're raising those babies up. You can see some have the albino gene. Also in this tank, we have a whole bunch of these orange tetras. And they're starting to get that really nice orange coloration on the tail. It's like a dark red coloration. They almost remind me of a bonita tetra. And then on the bottom, dwarf chain loaches. So I like this tank. All together with all those plants, everyone gets along good and looks fantastic. Okay, some Aquarium Strainbow's Monty rainbows, some decent sized roseline barbs, and just a few empire gudgeons. We should have more empire gudgeons coming in next week, so hopefully we'll be able to restock. The empire gudgeon is an absolutely stunning fish. This is a small one. Just wait till they get big. They get their full finnage, the full orange, and the big nuchal hump. This is a fish I'm super proud of. These are just cardinal tetras, but we source them really well. They come in healthy. They do good for our customers. So if you're one of those people who has tried cardinal tetras a lot of times because they're so pretty, but not had success, I'd encourage you to give us a try. We've sold thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these, and our success rate is around 99% of them arrive alive and do well for our customers long term. We buy from a supplier who takes really good care to ship them humanely, and we treat them humanely and ship them to you humanely. And all that work together makes for a nice, hearty cardinal tetra. And what's prettier than a cardinal tetra? Like, if this was a new fish that hadn't been around for a while and was just discovered today, people would be paying $3,000 each for this fish. I mean, these are just stunning. And you can get them for just a couple bucks. Okay, so we showed you the Rohani barbs before. These are the mascara barbs. People have been wanting these for a long time, so we brought some in. And I'm convinced these are mascara barbs, not filament barbs, because look at the eye. See the dark bar starting to develop across the eye, and that kind of remnant dark bar that's kind of across the body midway on some of them, plus the shape of that tear spot, and then the separate dark spot right at the margin of the caudal fin. These are mascara barbs. They're the real deal. Okay, these are our silver sailfin mollies. We get these from a very good breeder. This is nice, hardy stock. They're gonna do great for you. They're a common fish, but finding them nice and healthy isn't so common. And finding them with nice full fins, looking great like this, and healthy, those two things combined, that's not quite so common. So, and just look at these things. So just sit here for a second, see how they kind of display all the time. I know a lot of people that have been in the hobby for a while are kind of jaded on like swordtails and guppies and platies and mollies, but they're amazing aquarium fish. You can't deny it. Okay, so here's some diamond head neon tetras, and they're in there with a few half black guppies and some Celebes rainbows. Whew. I gotta say, like, these top tanks, doing those, I've got to get on a ladder every time to try to get high enough that my black shirt blocks as much glare as possible. And it's a bit of a workout. I'm gonna start sweating here soon. All right, pardon the water spots, but this is an amazing little barb. They don't like the camera. They're kind of like, what's up with that? But these are the dwarf golden barb. They only get an inch, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe. I mean, they're really a small nanofish. And unlike most barbs, these are truly peaceful. They're not gonna bother your other fish. At least in my experience, they never have. They're easy to feed. They eat any prepared foods, along with, you know, they love frozen and live, but no problem getting them to eat dry foods. Small and peaceful. So if you've been avoiding barbs because you're like, ooh, they tear everything apart, they're vicious, that's not true. Tiger barbs gave a lot of barbs a bad reputation, but little nano barbs like this, perfect citizens in a nano community aquarium. Okay, here's our current batch of Nanostomus mortenthaleri, the coral red pencil fish. They aren't fully colored right now, but you can see the reds coming in. You can see the potential of these. I guess a few of them are getting their nice red in. But, you know, they have to settle in for a little bit before they show that sometimes. But when they do, they generally keep it once they develop it, and they are absolutely stunning. So coral red pencilfish, Nanostomus mortenthaleri, one of my favorites in like a mid-price range pencilfish. Not as inexpensive as like a Beck 40, but not super expensive like the new super reds. Here's an all-time favorite for a lot of people. This is the bleeding heart tetra. Nice healthy group. These get good size and deep bodied. So if you want a tetra to keep with like your angel fish or other fish that get decent size, this is a good option because it's big enough that it's not going to get swallowed. Sometimes when you keep, I don't know, rummy nose and other kind of slender bodied tetras with angelfish, electric blue acaras, stuff like that. Once those fish get full size, they can start slurping down your tetras. It's snack time, but these get big and deep bodied, so they'll be okay. Glass headstanders. Really interesting fish. These come out of Trinidad. Not like anything else really, this genus. They're not related to headstanders. They're not related to glassfish very closely, but the shape, they're called glass headstanders. We've had these breed, we've had babies appear. We moved these to a different tank recently, and in the old tank, a bunch of babies appeared. So they're definitely breedable. If you want an interesting kerasin that you don't see every day and that makes an interesting breeding project, check out the glass headstander. Okay, here are the cherry spot tropheus from Bulu Point. They're small enough they don't have a lot of color yet, but the biggest ones every now and then will color it enough that I can see the double band, the kind of double cherry spot thing that they're famous for. So I know it's coming. You can see it on maybe that one there that just swam down, on a few of them. So got some growing to do, but these are going to be there you go. You can really see it on that one. These are going to be an absolutely stunning tropheus, one of the prettiest ones. And the trick with tropheus is feed them a lot of veggies. Don't give them a lot of, high protein foods with animal protein or they can bloat, and keep them in large groups. That's the key. They're quite aggressive, so it's kind of a species-only tank. Maybe you could put some Synodontis catfish with them or something, but pretty much these need to be kept by themselves and in large groups. But they grow into such stunning fish that it's worth dedicating a tank to them, I think. And a lot of other people think so too. Wow, yeah, there you go. See that guy that's coming in with the cherry spot? You can totally see it on that guy. Yeah. Thanks for showing us. Okay, unfortunately, this tank is like water spot central on the front glass, so we'll be brief. There's some rosy barbs and some redhead tapajos. If you like Geophagus, redhead tapajos are awesome. They get absolutely stunning when they mature. These are juveniles, no color yet, but they're gonna get such beautiful colors. I haven't met a Geophagus I didn't like. Each one is prettier than the last. Give you just a second to think. Not one you see very often. And they're all under the plants here, so the light isn't hitting them so brightly. They're going to be a little dark in here. But these are a native fish. These are the mountain red-bellied dace. They're juveniles, but as adults, they're going to get a bright red belly, similar to the southern red-bellied dace, but a different species. These are hobbyist bred and raised. These are F1 fish, and looking fantastic for juveniles. I mean, look at those fat bellies. No one's been fed today yet. And look how good they look. All right, I'm gonna show you the bane of my existence. Dun, 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 duckweed. Next up is our breeding group of red dragon guppies. We source these from a hobbyist breeder, so these are many generations bred here in the USA. And I think they look pretty darn good. This is our breeding group of Xiphophorus milleri, the Catamaco live bearer. And these are super easy to breed and very pretty. These are hard to find. I'm not quite sure why, because they're really easy to breed, but a lot of these wild type live bearers, I think it's just getting a hold of them is the hard part. Breeding them isn't. So we've got a bunch coming up here. If you're interested in wild type live bearers, these are a nice yellow color with black spots all over the bodies. Neat looking little fish. Look at all the babies. There they are. Look at babies, little babies swimming around. Love that. Here's some of our long-finned white cloud mountain minnows. Those long fins are just going to get better and better as they age, but they're already starting to come in pretty nicely. You can see the extended tail fin there. I'm going to guess that this is currently the most popular rainbow fish in the world. This is the Melanotania praecox, the dwarf neon rainbow fish. And the reason I think it's popular is because it's beautiful. It gets like a nice iridescent blue all across the body. And it has nice red on the fins. And to boot, it stays small. These don't get over around 3 inches or so. So nice, small rainbow fish. Also, just a few Corydorus rabauti hanging out with the neon dwarf rainbow fish. They call them the rust color Cory, I think, which is quite unflattering. One of the skunk type Corydorus. Okay, I'm very excited about these. This is Nothobranchius Corthaze from Red Mafia, or from Mafia, the red form. Oh, it just doesn't get much better than killifish. Look at these beauties. I love them. I'm so glad to have some more killifish again, finally. Stunning, stunning fish. And we do have females, by the way. There is one young lady right there. And several others. Over here. Nice and fat and sassy. That's how we like our Notho ladies. I have to tell you guys a really funny story. So when I was married, I think we were married, we might have been engaged. Yeah, we were married, I think, to my wife. This was early on in our marriage. I come home one day from school and my wife is like angry. What's going on? She's like, come here. I was like, okay. She takes me over to the computer. She sits me down. She's like, what's this? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, what's this email? And I look at the email and I start laughing. The title of the email was Skinny Notho Females. So basically it was a thread about skinny Nothobranchius killifish females and how to treat them and get them fat and sassy. My young wife thought maybe I'd been in some of the more undesirable places of the internet and was a little concerned. So that's a nice joke to this day. Whenever I see Nothobranchius, and especially female Nothobranchius, I always think of skinny Notho females in an email title, and my wife just looking at me like, what are you doing? Love you, Brenda. Okay, marble hatchetfish. One of the coolest hatchetfish. If you are looking for a top dweller for your aquarium, one of the harder places to fill is that top niche because there aren't all that many fish that'll go up there and stay up there happily. But these will. Marbled hatchetfish are a great option for you. They're peaceful. This batch has been really hardy. We have a good source for these. And the only thing about them is they'll jump. They'll literally like fly. So you need a lid on the tank. But apart from that, perfect little top dweller, super easy to keep. Okay, this is our current group of Congo spotted puffers. These aren't released for sale yet. We have a little work to do to make sure they're fat and sassy before they go, but they're getting really close. They're pretty chunky. These have not been fed yet today. So just to give you an idea, that's what they look like before they're fed. Sometimes when people make videos of puffers, they feed them really full and then they take the video and they're like, look how good they are. And it's like, yeah, you just fed those. These are just about ready to go, the Congo spotted puffers. In fact, they might be ready to go as early as next week. Now that I'm looking at them again really closely, they look pretty fantastic. Yeah, looking good. Happy with these guys. Here is an aquarium of melon barbs along with some rainbow fish. These are Melanotania sembrae and just a couple geophagus in here. These are some red hump earth eaters. These are little babies that we raised up ourselves. Bred and raised right here at dansfish.com. If you want to get into geophagus, this might be the easiest one to breed and raise. Like literally, they'll probably breed in the bag. They're that easy. The convex cichlids of geos, if you're looking for a good starter geo. Okay, I like this mix of fish. These are gold tetras in with Kyathit danios. I think Kyathit danios are super underrated. They have a lot of orange in the fins, nice striped pattern, very active, outgoing, hardy fish. Kyathits are fantastic. And the gold danios, the gold tetras, make a good tank mate because they can keep up with them. So that mix in an aquarium. If you like lively fish, this is a group to consider. These are our group of tiger teddies. Oh, I love these fish. Neat, tiny little fish. I don't know why they're so hard to find. I don't know why they have a reputation for being delicate. We've had nothing but nice, hardy, easy to breed fish. They're breeding for us all the time here, and they're doing great. And they have that nice coloration. I really like tiger teddies. So if you've been looking for these, like, can I get that orange? Let's see if I can find one that will show us kind of that orange spot midway down the body. If you've been looking for tiger teddies, we have a very nice group. Here is a group of whiptails. There they are on the glass, so you can see the bellies, and they're in here with some Aplochilus dei. Aplochilus dei, we got a little air bubbler here. They kind of like to hang out there and swim against the current. You don't want strong current, but they don't mind just a little bit of current. But check these whiptails out. Those nice long filaments on those tails. These are doing fantastic for us. Like, look at the filaments on this one. Whew. If you like whiptails but have been a little trigger shy, these are aquarium bred and raised. And they're hardy as can be. So I think these will definitely do well for you. And they're in there with some red onion. They're right snails, like that guy. And that guy. And that guy. And, well, you get the point. Another absolutely gorgeous platy. Blue coracle, blue calico coral platy. Good, let's separate coral and calico when we talk, shall we? Look at these guys. Not very expensive, super hardy, and absolutely stunning. All right, here are some pygmy swordtails. This is Xiphophorus pygmaea. Not one you see every day for sure. Really hard fish to find. The problem is, the breeder sent us all males except for 2. We have 2 females is all. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with these. I don't know if we'll breed them ourselves, get a colony and then sell them, or sell a couple reverse trios and hope someone else can breed them. And then I don't know what to do with the males at that point that are left. Like, I'm not sure, but beautiful rare fish. Get a glimpse while you can, I guess. All right, look at these beauties. Everything in this tank is a beauty. First of all, there's the Melanotania rainbow fish from Comeng River. Nice blues, neat iridescence on them, even when they're not firing. These look good even when they're not firing, which is nice. And then when they do fire, lots of bright red colors and oranges and stuff come in. Along with these, look at these red tuxedo hyphen cauliflower swordtails. Comeng River rainbows. I'm telling you guys, if you like rainbows, this one's always pretty. Well, this tank's pretty dark because of all the plants. So I don't know how well we'll see them, but there's a bunch of Rumminose rasboras in here. They're looking great. Blue bodies, red noses, red tips on the fins of the caudal fins, the tail fins, red tips. Okay, a couple of discus here. In addition to those, we also have, well, there's 519 plecos in there, but they're going to be in that wood, so. Yeah, we'll just show you the discus. Some really nice looking discus. Nice big ones in this tank. There's so many tanks here at the Dansfish Warehouse. Like, I'm only halfway through the top tanks. All right, I guess I don't need to go to the gym today. I'm taking care of it at work. Diamond tetras, small enough that they don't have their full color yet, But these are another one that grows into a nice deep-bodied fish that will do well with large angelfish and other, substantial centerpiece fish. Limia vittata. The banded Cuban limia, I believe, is the common name for these. I know them by their scientific name, though, vittata. These were bred and raised by a hobbyist in Colorado, and they're doing really well. Nice breeding group for us. Here's a Rhinagobius species. These are the red spots. Nice little batch. I love Rhinagobius. They're just little clowns, always active. As they grow, they get prettier and prettier. These are still fairly small, but they get decent color in as they grow. And just neat goofballs that are fun to watch and hang out with. Okay, nice lyre-tail platinum mollies. This guy split his fin. I'm not sure how, but look at the quality of these, like from the genetic side. Like, look how good these look. That is a fantastic looking molly, if I do say so myself. And I really like these because these are ones we raised up from little babies. We had some, they dropped fry, and these are the result. Here's a platy. I like how dark they are. These are the white fins. So they're this dark red, kind of coral platy, but they have white tips to the fins. It's just a little accent, I suppose. Just a little surprise on these platies. I don't know if this is everyone's favorite, but enough people request them repeatedly that I'm going to say this might be the most popular platy in the world. This is the Hawaii Variatus platy. And you can't blame people for liking them. Bright yellow, nice black on them with that red-orange tail, like beautiful fish. And man, do they ever eat algae? You can tell. You can tell. Look at that. That fish is eating some algae. The evidence is clear. If you like neon tetras but want super fancy ones, these are the long-finned neon tetras. Really elegant looking with that long finnage. I think they're just as easy to keep as a regular old neon tetra. Like, they eat everything. They seem to be doing really well. Well, I should caveat that. Any fish that has long flowing fins, it's going to take them more energy to develop the fins, keep up that extra fin tissue, and more energy to swim. So maybe they're not quite as hardy, but this batch is doing great. We haven't had any problems, so I still think they'll do well for you. Okay, these are the orange saffron or saffron orange mollies. I was really excited to get these. These came from a breeder in Europe that does a really good job, high quality fish. Got them, was thrilled, and then I looked at them and I'm like, wait a minute, I think they might all be females. So I'm not sure if these are all females or if they're young still and some males are going to develop out of them. But we're waiting to see before we sell them. So I think I see a few males starting to develop, yeah. One male there, a couple more maybe, so looks like maybe we'll be okay. I'm just going to give them more time to make sure. All right, beautiful dragon blood peacocks. Oh, they didn't like the camera. Look at them. Oh, they hate that. Usually these are out and about and begging for food and like so, confident. That surprises me a little bit, but this camera they do not like. Anyway, these are stunning. I mean, I know they're not for everyone. Purists hate them. I get that. But you can't deny that that's got a lot of color to it. Really pretty, really hardy fish. And these are breeding all the time for us. At this point, this is just a big breeding colony. So if you want a big breeding colony of dragon blood peacocks, send us an email, hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. Make us an offer. I'd kind of love to just clear the whole tank out. Okay, feast your eyes on these. Look at these pelvicochromis. These are pelvicochromis from Bapindi is the location. Very different than your pelvicochromis pulcher. Different location, but really, really pretty one. I like the yellows that come in on these. There's so many neat little dwarf cichlids out of West Africa. And this is one of them. Oh, look at the black face on you. Whoop, look at that little black face. I like how that contrasts with the orange, or the yellow, I mean. Gold tuxedo swordtails, or yellow tuxedo swordtails. Along with a few zebra lace angelfish that are hard to see because they're black on a black background, aren't they? Here we go. A few black zebra lace angelfish. Okay, golden white clouds. Hardy, easy, beautiful. Simple to breed. Tank of golden rams, Microgeophagus Ramirezi. Yeah. Some reason right now it's not coming to me. But basically the gold version of the blue ram. Okay, some calico red swordtails. Some have the lyre tail trait, some don't. But pretty looking fish either way. Now this is an interesting little cichlid. This is Gymnogeophagus caguensis. Doesn't get very big, tops out at about 4 inches. You can see the nuchal hump already developing on that young male right there. Neat little geophagus type fish. Gets really pretty coloration. Doesn't get big, and is an easy peasy fish that just isn't seen that often in the aquarium hobby. This is our colony of neon guppies. There's some golds in there and some regulars. It's a mix. All right, here's some Comeng River rainbows and some of the super red rosy barbs. These super red rosy barbs really are a lot more red than your typical rosy barbs. This is a line that has been developed and worked by a European breeder, and they're doing a great job. The red's coming in really nicely. And the Comeng River rainbows, those are pretty as well. Okay, this right here is betta falx. If you like wild type bettas but haven't got a lot of experience with them, this is a great one to start with. They're very hardy. They're always breeding. In fact, there's a pair right here that I can tell is paired up. That's the female up top. Trying to get out of the glare here. The male there is holding some eggs. Bet you anything we just missed them spawning. Yeah, that's a pair for sure. Just want to see if we can catch a spawning embrace. We might be too late. Well, anyway, that's a pair for sure. Okay, super fat and sassy. Of all the gar species that are, available, I think that this is probably the prettiest one. It gets a little bit of coloration, really nice personalities, good algae eaters, and just look at the bellies on these. Like, not to brag, but I bet my Pandagara are fatter than your Pandagara. I like them chunky. Okay, here's some purple tetras. I think this might be the Mete tetra, if I remember correctly. And in here are some solid yellow high fin platies. Nice breeding group that's been doing great for us. One of my all-time favorite fish ever, Fundulopanchax gardneri. This is an amazing killifish, super pretty, super hardy, easy to breed. Just made a video on them that was released a few days ago, maybe a week ago. So if you want to know more about this fish, check that video out. But look at the color on these guys. They're just so pretty. Such a neat killifish. Love that fish. And they're in here with some albino Congo tetras. All right, we just have a couple of these left. This is Corridorus pantanalensis. These are aquarium bred and raised, so they're small. This fish gets huge. They get about 4 inches and they develop amazing colors as adults. But, as small little babies, this is what they look like. There's a couple of them back there. All right, this is an amazing paradise fish. It's one you don't see every day for sure. This is Macropoda zhaoqing. It came out of China. They're very hard to get. This might be the last time we can get them because the supplier we got them from appears to not be supplying them to us anymore. So I don't know where else you could get them, but really stunning paradise fish. Neat looking fish. There's so many species of paradise fish out there. We only know of a couple in the United States hobby. Like you almost see none of them. So it's nice to get one of those rare, interesting ones that we never see around. Look how beautiful they are though, that red orange on them. I think these are stunning. Okay, this is one of the fish that we are famous for. This is Celestial Pearl Danios, the CPD. And I'd like to just take note. Look how they are. They're just out and about. They're not all hiding. That's what happens when you keep fish in big groups. They get confident. They'll be out. You'll see them. Celestial Pearl Danios are famous for being skittish when you only have a few of them. Do yourself a favor, get a big group, and you will see them all the time. Man, they're beautiful. By the way, if you've had trouble with Celestial Pearl Danios before, give us a try. We're literally famous for this fish because we do a good job sourcing it, caring for it, and getting it to you in good shape. We do a great job with this fish. I'm very proud of the work we've done on Celestial Pearl Danios. All right, roseline barbs. I'll never forget the first time I saw these. I was a kid. I went to Capitol Aquarium in Sacramento, and they had some in an end cap display tank, and they took my breath away. I had never seen anything quite like this. They've been around a while now, so now we see them, and we're like, oh yeah, we know what that is. But when they first appeared on the scene, they literally blew minds, and they're just as pretty now as they were then. Okay, this is the third kind of Siamese algae eater that we have. This is the true Siamese algae eater. So this is the one that you know and love and is available sometimes in the hobby. These are the ones that are the real deal. So we have these, we have the spot-tail algae eater, then we have the mystery algae eater. All of them eat algae really well. They're all from the same genus, just different flavors. Okay, here is some redback 40 pencilfish. I don't know why they call them redback 40. On the list, there's always the redback 40 and the beck 40, and they always look the same to me. So, I don't know. I don't know why. But these are aquarium bred and raised. They should do really well for you. If you want something with a snappy personality, doesn't get too big, and has interesting behavior as it spars and displays, these are good for you, and they don't cost a ton. Okay, here's another tank of our high fin sunset platies. And they really are that pretty. They're bright, they glow from across the room. They're just a stunning fish. Okay, and here we have the African moon tetra. I think these are an amazing little kerasin. You never see them, and they're pretty darn cool. We also have Chilotherina fasciata from Lake Centani. This is not the Centeniensis, it's the fasciatus, but from that lake. And then back here, they just got moved in this tank this morning, so they're quite shy, are the gold red spot severums, just little babies, not really showing the red yet, but nice and healthy as horses. But those moon tetras, those African moon tetras, those are something you don't see every day. Madagascar rainbows, and getting big enough to have a little bit of color at this point. Not all of them, but the biggest ones there, you're really starting to see like the iridescent scales on the side and the reds coming in on the fins, so that's nice. We have a mystery tetra in here. We're not sure what it is. That often happens when you order tetras. You get stuff in, you're like, well, that's cool, but I don't know what to call it. So we generally call it mystery tetra, at least until we can get an identification on it. Okay, here's Costi tetras. I love these. They're a nice schooling tetra, nice tight pack of them together in a planted tank. Looks amazing. And they're in here with juvenile black ruby barbs that are not showing their black beautiful color yet, but they will. And just a few sailfin kerisins, like that guy right there on top of that saucer. Okay, we recently did an entire video on this species, but I want to tell you something. Earlier today, they were in this tank down here. We literally just moved them to this tank like a few minutes ago. And they are so not shy. They don't care. They're like, where's the food? Feed me Seymour. I love these fish. Beautiful anabantoid. If you want to learn more about them, the ornate Tenopoma, Microtenopoma ansorgii, check out our video we did recently on them. But I just love that we just moved them, and they're like, they don't even know. They don't even care. Okay, here's some albino cardinal tetras. If you like cardinal tetras and you want something a little different, here's the albinos. And some lemon tetras. We all know and love this fish, so I won't stay on it very long, but we have these, and we also have the Bolivian orange lemon tetra in another tank. We'll get to that later on in this tour. Melanotania Herbert axelrodi, just little juveniles. These were raised by a hobbyist here in the United States. We were able to source them from him. The fork-tail blue-eye, Pseudomugil furcata. The first Pseudomugil I successfully bred and raised, so they'll always have a place in my heart. I think these guys are amazing. And some monster mono shrimp. Look at that beast. Like, if a pseudomugil swims by him and you can see the size. Yeah, look at that. He's huge, that shrimp. All right, Melanotini Goldie Eye. Another beautiful rainbow fish. Now, I know they don't always look like it at this size, but when they fire, they're pretty. And when they grow up, that's when they really get the color. Rainbow fish take a while to develop, but once they do, you see them and you're like, oh yeah, that was worth it. Those are gorgeous. Okay, folks, so here's where we're at. We're done the top tanks of the 40-gallon aquariums. We still have the middles to go, we have the bottoms to go, and we have all the 75s to go. So go get yourself something to snack on, get yourself something to drink, settle in. We've got a lot more fish to show you, including a lot of rare stuff, really rare gobies, neat stuff you probably haven't seen anywhere else. So just wait till we show you the big grunters we got in. Okay, I promised you some rare stuff in this little section, so let's check these out. These are Stiphodon anniae, a small little Stiphodon species, but big in color. Absolutely stunning when they color in. That guy facing us is starting to color in. You can see the blue on the face, the red on the fins. If he had turned, we'd see it better. Come on, turn, buddy. These guys are super easy to feed. They're eating on pellets just fine. That's an algae wafer in there that they're snacking on. That's what this guy's doing. He's got a little piece of an algae wafer that broke off that he's claimed. But there you go. Now you can see him. Here's another tank. Here's some that are doing their little display dance. That's awesome. Thanks, guys, for showing off for us just in time. I'm glad we caught that. He's working hard. That guy's working hard to try to get that down his throat, whatever that little thing is. But yeah, look at this. Look at this color on these guys. Stiphodon anniae just might be the prettiest Stiphodon in the world. Although a little later on, down another row, we have some Stiphodon rudularius that I'll show you. And those ain't bad either, so you'll have to decide which one you like better. I like them both a ton. Wow, that's a pretty fish. Here we have a colony of pumpkin spice shrimp. This is second or third colony we've started. You know, the line starts getting a little weird, so you pull the best ones out and you put them in a tank and you breed that, and that's kind of how you keep a line going easily. Orange rabbit snails, along with Celebi's bumblebee shrimp. I didn't name them that, guys. I mean, look at the shrimp. I don't know why they call them bumblebee shrimp, other than to say there are a few occasionally like that guy. They do kind of get a bumblebee pattern on them, but don't hate me for the name. I didn't make it up. But anyway, the orange rabbit snails from Soloway's are awesome. And you can just see the head of a 236 pleco sticking out right there. Right, here's the green smoke angelfish. They're young. You can just start to see the green sheen coming in on some of them. But these have a lot of growing to do. Next to them, we have some koi angels. Again, small, but the orange is coming in for sure. Nice orange on these guys. Another tank with a few cardinal tetras in it. We are due for a refill on cardinal tetras for sure. We should have a whole bunch coming next week. Here's Rhinogobius natianensis. Really neat little personable goby. I love Rhinogobius species. I think they're fantastic. This guy just came up to say hello, didn't you? A nice yellow on the fins, but even when they're, you know, even just a brown goby is cool because their personalities are amazing. And just look at the bellies on these guys. Now, these are fat and sassy. Look at this one. That's what you want in your Rhinogobius. The fish that started it all. This is a chrome aphiosimian bivitatum from Funge. This is the fish that is our logo here at Dan's Fish. I've been in love with this species for decades, and that's because they're one of the larger bivitatums, and they have really neat crisp patterns. These are still young. They're starting to develop, but they're going to get better and better, I promise you. These are absolutely stunning. I love Fundulopanchax bivitatum Funge. One of my favorites ever. Okay, we've got some cherry shrimp in there along with some orange Venezuelan cories. Orange Venezuelans are a perennial favorite. Of all the cories out there, they're one of the ones that, of the ones that are affordable, one of the ones with the most color. These, stare by, a few others. A lot of cories are awesome, but not a lot of them have good color. These do. Okay, check them out. Some of those super expensive new pencil fish, but look how red they are. Like, you might have seen the unboxing of these when we first brought them in. Look how much red has developed since then. They've really settled in and they're coming into their own. Here's a group of them. And we're excited about them. So I don't know if it'll work, but we just threw a little spawning container in there. We'll see. That guy appears to be, yeah, look at this guy. He's there. He was displaying. He's like, come here, ladies. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if there are any ladies in there, it's hard to tell. Nothobronchus eggersi. These are the red form from Kibidi Utiki 07. That's the collection location. There you go. There's one up front that we can see. If I pull the light over it, there we go. Now we can see them. Such gorgeous fish. All these killifish are just mind-blowing. Now, these guys are still in quarantine. We haven't had them very long, so they're not ready yet. But they will be soon. Platinum parrot cichlids. Personable, fun, true wet pets that don't get too big and aren't as aggressive as a lot of wet pets. Berlin platies. Get that nice calico pattern on them. These are so hard to find. This is the whole Sterti barb, the dwarf, I think they call them butterfly barbs, out of the Congo. These are doing great. We haven't fed them yet, and look at how good the body weight is, even though they haven't eaten yet today. They've gradually been getting better and better. This is one that I've been wanting to bring in for a long time. This one in Candons. I've been on the search for a long time. Glad to have a few. And in that shipment that we brought in from the Congo, we got these. Weren't really labeled, but I think these are the type 2 green Congo tetras, along with some dwarf cherry super red tetras, these Neolibius types. And the reason I say that is, are they doing it right now? Yesterday evening, when I was cleaning the algae off the glass in preparation for this video, a few of these little striped Neolibius types were bright red. But they aren't now. I should have got a picture. So that's what I think they are. But these weren't labeled very well, so it's hard to say. Okay, so I ordered some Pseudomugil pascae from Europe. And since they were from Europe, I was like, maybe they'll actually be pascae. Nope, they were frittata. And while I love frittata, I paid pascae prices. So that was a little disappointing, but big, beautiful frittata. Look at this guy. This is Stiphodon rudolarius. They're under the plants, so it's a little hard to see him. I might skip to the next tank, but just to give you an idea, yeah, look at that. The blues and the reds. There's a couple that are starting to get some nice color in. There you go. There you go. Look at that guy all colored up bright red and blue. That is Stiphodon rudolarius. Oh, they're pretty. So it might be the prettiest one. Between those and Annier, it's a toss-up for me. Look at them go. That's an algae wafer they're snacking on. Again, easy to feed. They're not picky. And look at the little bellies. Nice, fat little bellies. That's what we want. Lemon blue-eye plecos. These were bred and raised by a hobbyist breeder, so they've been really good for us. Rock solid. If you like lemon blue eyes, I think this is a great source. Some bluegrass guppies. I'm going to let the fish do the talking because they're so pretty. Check these out. Okay, Xiphophorus montezumae. These were acquired from Scott. So if you saw our tour of Scotty's fish room from about a month ago, he had a bunch of these. You'll see the parents. These are some of the babies and too young to sex. So they're sold unsexed right now, but they're going to turn spectacular. They get the longest sword, I think, of any swordtail. Well, bigger than the body. Like those swords get nice and long. This is our breeding colony of Poecilia gillii, a really rare molly. Don't see them very often at all, so trying to get a colony going. These are from Scotty as well. This is a group of Limia perugiae. So these are the ones that are for sale at the moment. Just look at that iridescence on these guys. Oh, I love them. Perugiae are fantastic. Always been one of my favorites. Corridor Similis. Oh, did they just disappear? They don't like the camera much. I moved the light and, well, that got them moving to the front a little bit. Anyways, Corridor Similis is the smudge spot cory or the violet cory. No matter what you call them. Cool little cory. Get big groups and you'll see some awesome behavior. The last species we brought in from Scotty was this. This is his line of full green guppies. This is his 4th generation. He's been working on these for a long time. So any line of fancy guppies like this takes constant work, and that'll be the same for you, but it's a nice quality line. Okay, this is a first for us. These are Altum Angels. I forget the location, I'll have to look it up, but they're doing fantastic. Beautiful little Altums. Tip of the dorsal to tip of the anal fin, we're probably looking at 3 inches, something like that, maybe a little more. Like, these are just spectacular little angelfish. I love them. I was running an experiment to see if Altums would do okay in 79-degree water, and so far this batch we've had for quite a while, and they seem to be doing just fine. This is Corridors Equus. We just got them in, so they're still in quarantine. We only have a few, but they're doing fantastic. Doesn't get much better than Equus. Check out this beautiful killifish. This is Aphyosemion striatum. I think they call them the red striped killifish or something like that. Just an absolutely stunning fish. Nice beginner killifish, not difficult, and has all the color of like an advanced killifish. Okay, here are the hummingbird tetras. Neat little guys. This is our first time with them, and I'm not disappointed. They seem to be pretty hardy. They're doing well. We've had them for a while now without issues. So if you want like a really neat tetra, these are fantastic, these little hummingbird tetras. They also call them red-tailed glass tetras, some people. Depends on the supplier. Okay, I don't know if you can see them zipping around in there, but those are horse-faced loaches. And that camera kind of freaked them out a little bit. Up above them are the red rose-tail guppies, which are pretty fantastic. If I do say so myself, look at that fish. Here we have some blue neon gobies, not too expensive and very pretty, especially when they get that bright blue neon stripe that develops. A little colony of red cherry shrimp, another colony of red cherry shrimp, along with some blue lace guppies. Okay, a nice group of Corridors virginiae. Not one you see every day, but not super expensive either. Just a nice Corridor. Get them in groups, guys. Big groups, they do best with a lot all together. Another neat cory, this is the C123. The yellow cory, and they call them that because they get these bright yellow fins on them. Bright yellow, I mean, they're lemon yellow, let's be honest, but they're still really nice for cory. There you go, you can see it against the sand on some of those. Metal yellow mosaic guppies with a ton of babies. They're breeding for sure, along with dwarf chain loaches. Lots and lots of dwarf chain loaches. An absolutely wonderful colony of dwarf chain loaches. Look at the colors on those guppies. But look how cool the dwarf chain loaches are. Like my eye just doesn't know where to look at this tank. We have some newly arrived Agassiziae blue flames. We bought the breeder out last time, and they just have some that are just barely getting big enough to sell. So they're smaller than they were last time, but the color, as you can see, is already starting to come in. Just got them though earlier this week, so it's going to be a while before they're ready for sale. They have to get all through quarantine. Melanotania calitawa. Beautiful dwarf species of rainbow fish. Very new to the hobby, but so pretty when they color up that I think they're going to take this industry by storm. I think they're going to be more popular than Melanotania praecox, the dwarf neon rainbow, in a few years once they're bred in large enough numbers to be distributed. I think they're just gorgeous. Here's our colony of Ameca splendens, the butterfly godaid, butterfly split fin, whatever you want to call it. I am so excited about these. These are Megilogobius adii. Not one you see very often at all, hard to find, and in my opinion, super cool. This is a shell dweller. So just like in Lake Tanganyika, you get these little cichlids that live and breed in the snail shells. These live in the shells of the snails in the Sulawesi lake that they're from. So neat little goby. You hardly ever see these guys. I just think they're fantastic. Such a neat fish. These are a Congo tetra, but they're not your average Congo tetra. These literally came straight from the Congo. These are the type 2, the green Congo tetra. So these guys are still in quarantine. They're not ready to go yet. We're healing up their mouths a little bit still, but they're looking better every day. The Imperial Lapis tetra. And I think the color's finally starting to come in on these guys. That nice blue that they get. The red is not showing all the way. They're going to get nice red in the tail fin and some of the other fins. But the blue's starting to come through, so they're settling in nicely. I got to tell you, this is tiring. But I want to show you everything, so let's keep going. This is a different Congo tetra. This is the Phenacogrammus from Mokobile. Starting to get their weight back. Going to be ready for sale in a week or two, I think. Yeah, starting to look pretty good. Takes a long time to recover these fish from import, but I think these are about there. Bonita tetras. I know they don't look like much now, but in a month or so, they're going to get that bright red developing on the tail of the males, and then they'll be absolutely stunning. I mean, they're not ugly now, but I know what they look like when they color in, and they're fantastic. Apistogramma Hongsloi red. Let's see the red in the belly of that one right there that's climbing up the side. Beautiful, hardy, peaceful little apisto. Okay, here is a group of red-eyed red high-fin cauliflower swordtails. Some more Apistogramma banshai, Inca 500s. I just love them. I think they're fantastic looking fish. Oh, look at this female. Woo, look at her go. Look at you strut your stuff. I don't know why, but there's just something unique about the banshai's coloration and pattern and stuff that just sets them apart, I think, from your average apisto. I mean, is that fair? Is there an average apisto? All the apistos are awesome, but I like the banshai a lot. Phenacogrammus arcuatus from Lafini River. We brought these in from the Congo as well. They're wild fish, and they're getting a lot better. They've gained a lot of body weight, and they're going to be ready, again, I think in about a week or two. Okay, Betta Samorum. Amazing wet pets, beautiful coloration, not shy at all. And what I like is when I put my hand in the aquarium, they'll actually nibble on it. They'll exfoliate me. So if you need a mani-pedi fish, this will be your spa companion. Anyway, I love them. Big, bold, beautiful bettas. I think they're fantastic. Neat wild type bubble nester. Here's the Dusky Millions fish. It's an interesting little live bearer. All right, here it is. This is my favorite tetra. This is Hyphestobricon procyon, the raccoon tetra. We've only had them a couple weeks, so they aren't colored up now, but when they do, they will blow your mind. I think this is the prettiest tetra that I've seen. This is my favorite tetra now. Berlin Lyretail Swordtails. Sourced from Europe. This breeder does an amazing job. Look at these fat, healthy lyretails. They aren't those scrawny little emaciated things that you see so often with lyretail swordtails. These are robust. And if you don't like lyretails, here are the regular Berlin swordtails. Or if you want a breeding project and you want to produce lyretails, then as you probably know, you'll need these to do that. You'll need to breed these males with those females. One of the neatest little dwarf bettas out there. This is Betta cochina. Fantastic little dwarf betta. This one won the little sparring match. There's a little flare and the other one ran away. Good for you. Way to stand your ground. You go, girl. Here's a male right here. Oh, look how pretty these are. Betta cochina never disappoints. Just look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, I love them. That is a beautiful, beautiful little miniature wild type betta. Here's the white tuxedo guppies. These are sourced from Europe, and I think the strain is amazing. Look at the quality of these fish. Those European breeders just do a good job. They really care about the quality, and they work hard for it. And they don't overpack the fish. The fish are packed in responsible densities. This is Betta Persephone, another dwarf little betta, similar to cochina that you hardly ever see. Zebra Hillstream loaches. Look at the fat little bellies. I love them. along with some bamboo shrimp. Neat filter feeding shrimp. These are the blood cap moon tetras. They get that blood red spot right up on the dorsal fin, on the body, right by the dorsal fin there. Really beautiful little fish from the Congo. Crystal red shrimp colony. Corridors punctatus. They hate the camera, but they're an awesome schooling fish. Neat color, nice and healthy. Dewormed, like we're doing a good job with cories and stuff now. We figured out how to get them clean and get them to you in pretty good shape. We have, I won't say we're 100%. I think we still have some learning to go, but industry-wide, I think we're right up there. These are the Atoyac swordtails, the Phosphorus helleri from Atoyac. Neat mottled calico pattern on them. Some wild Apistogramma McMasteri. If you want some wild stock, here they are. Maybe you want to refresh your genes or start a new gene, have new genes for a new breeding project, or just like how fish look, how nature intended, here's some wild McMasteri. Gold dust Geophagus altocino. Just little juveniles, so they aren't developing that really cool coloration and kind of interesting body pattern they get as adults, but you got to start somewhere, you know? Give them some growing and they'll be absolutely fantastic. Okay, here they are. This is Pseudomugil mellis. These are juveniles. They're small. I cannot sex them. I wish I could. We have a mop in there and our fingers are crossed, but I really don't think they're big enough to have any spawning action. But they're healthy. They're happy. We haven't had any losses. And look at those bellies. We have not fed them yet today. And look at those things go. So, or maybe we did. I bet Johnny snuck some baby brine shrimp in there this morning. He kind of babies the mellis. And just looking at their bellies, it does look like they ate actually. Corridors arcuatus, the skunk cory. See if I can get some light so we can see them. I don't know. These are Corridors arcuatus, the true arcuatus, the skunk corridora. Great little cory. Neat black stripe. If you like cories and you like skunks, we got you covered. Okay, that's all the middle tanks in the 40-gallon section. I think we'll move on to the 75s and then we'll do the 40s on the bottom. Stick around, we still have Rhinogobia shui to show you. We have some neat grunters. We have a lot of neat stuff coming up. So refresh your drink, fill up that snack bowl. Whew, I'm gonna get a drink and then we'll be right back. So I hope you're enjoying looking at all these really cool fish. If you are, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to subscribe, that would be great. Let's get back to the fish. How about a tank full of Melanotania bosemani from Itinjo? Woo, look at them. They're so pretty. As they settle in, they're going to get darker and darker in the front and more orange on the back until they're basically a Halloween looking fish. A really dark front, bright orange back. Really pretty location of bosemani. Okay, this is for Chonsworth. Here's the grunters. They're big. Like really big. Oh, hang on, I gotta fix the light. Got put in a weird spot. But these guys are smallest one, 5 inches. Biggest one, 7 inches, maybe? I mean, I don't have a measuring stick with me, but that's my guess. Now these guys are crazy. So these are the mountain grunters, and they should be available in about a week. They're so big, and big fish ship so... It's more challenging to ship big fish, let's put it that way. So I just want to give them an extra week, make sure they're okay. There they are. They're starting to develop that solid black with bright gold coloration that makes them so pretty. A tank of green snakeskin guppies. 1 or 2 guppies in there. Aves Creek, bosemani Itinjos from Aves Creek. Just as pretty as Itinjo, different location. Okay, here is Chilotharina blairi. An absolutely stunning fish, but right now they're juveniles, so now they look kind of tan with a little bit of red on the tails of some of them, but they're gonna grow into nice, big, beautiful, flashing rainbow fish. So worth the wait, these guys. Melanotania affinis from Paraguay. I've been wanting these for a long time. I'm thrilled to have them. I think this is probably the most colorful location of the affinis. Look at that. They're not fully colored up or fully grown in, and look at how much red is already coming in on those guys. Here are the red dragons, Glossolepis multiscomata. Grows to like 7 inches, big, amazing finnage on these fish. They're gonna get red color as they mature. Right now they're young, no color, but look at the body weight. They are doing great. Here we have Chilotharina fasciata Cali Webb. And Jake has started a breeding project of these and has, I don't know, he had like 300 babies hatched today, which was kind of cool. Beautiful rainbow fish. A fire mouse cichlid you don't see very often. This is Thorichthys elioti. And they're in here with some true Chilotharina centeniensis. These were sourced from Marcel, and I believe Marcel sourced them from Johannes Graf. I believe that's correct. I think that's the provenance on these centeniensis. Pineapple swordtails, an oldie but goodie. Because look at them. How could you not be happy looking at that fish? They're bright colored. They're always happy to see you. Koi guppies, but not just any koi guppy. These are the snakeskin koi guppies, and I believe we were the first people to bring these in commercially. I believe that is a true statement. Okay, here we have the fine spotted Satanoperca. I think Materapensis is how you say the species name, but I'm not quite sure. And they're in here with some giant emperor tetras. And then we have what we're calling the Israeli blues. They were sold to us as bluegrass, and if you look at them, yeah, I guess there's some bluegrass in there. I'm sticking with Israeli blue. I'm comfortable with that description. They're blue, they're from Israel. How beautiful are these? Oh my gosh, I love these. These are the platinum red-tailed dumbo-eared guppies. I think they're my favorite guppy now, just because they're spectacular. I guess that's why. Well, they don't look like much now, but this is Glossolepis wanamensis, the emerald dragon. They grow into absolutely spectacular fish. Well, that was a really dark tank, so I'm glad to go to this one. This is a nice bright tank. These are blonde koi guppies. It doesn't get much brighter than a blonde koi guppy. I mean, check that out. Like brightness overload on these guys. Oh, they look so good. Here's one of our strains of red dragon guppies. We have a few different strains, but this is one of them. Then over here is the green leaf algae eating shrimp. Best algae eater we found. We did a contest where we put them and a mono shrimp and flagfish, Florida flagfish, to the test to see who would clear 2 grams of algae the fastest. I think it was 2 grams. And these guys won the contest. So if you have algae and you want to get rid of it, the green leaf algae eating shrimp is the best one we've found so far. Okay, here are some Stiphodon ornatus. I think that's aptly named because I think they're very ornate, very ornatus indeed. Beautiful little fish, active, personable, and not very expensive. Well, the Goldie Plecos are putting on a show. They were all out and about and excited at feeding time. Look at that guy right there. Several out. Grow into spectacular fish. They're going to get about 14 inches or so and just be stunning. Okay, my favorite of the bumblebee gobies is this one because this is the true freshwater bumblebee goby. And you don't have to muck around with salt to keep these guys. They're fine in full fresh water. In fact, in nature, they're in full fresh water all the time, so they don't need salt. All the personality of the normal bumblebee gobies, but no salty business. It's hard to go wrong with killifish, and especially these. This is the orange form of Aphyosemion australi. Sometimes they call it the gold form. It goes back and forth. But absolutely stunning fish. And then here's a male with a female, so you can see the difference. I've never met a killifish I didn't like, especially these. This tank might be of interest to some folks. This is a catch-all tank. When we are down to a few of a species or have something that we're just like, we just need somewhere to put this because we need the tank, we put them in here. These are a mystery tetra. They're really cool. We have no idea what they are. They look kind of like an Amapaensis, bright red stripe down the side, but not quite. So I'm not sure. But anyway, lots of random fish in there. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. But there is, right there, a starry night shrimp. I'm sorry, a Matano red orchid shrimp. Starry nights in a different tank. Look at those guys. Such a neat Solowacea shrimp. Here's our colony of stake endlers. The reason stake endlers are special is because they are a true endler. They haven't been hybridized with guppies or any other location of endlers. They're the real deal, true-blooded endlers, and that is very difficult to find these days. So there they are. Also really pretty to boot. Okay, we've got a couple things in here. On the bottom, we have a whole bunch of pygmy cories. The more the merrier when it comes to cories, especially pygmy cories. They love being in large groups. And on top of those, we have these Sankei high-fin swordtails. These just came earlier this week, so they're not available for sale yet, but they will be. This is the black-banded sunfish, a beautiful little dwarf sunfish species. Really neat little guys. Look at them. Hey, that's not cute. I don't know why, but they've always reminded me a little bit of a cardinal fish, like a saltwater cardinal fish. Royal Acaras. Looking better every day. These are right by my desk, so I get to turn my head and see them as they develop all the time. I think they're really cool. Diadema, I believe, is the species name of these guys. Here we have some white-bodied, red-finned high-fin swordtails on top of some Corydoras agassiziae. Look at that horde of cories. That's how you want them. A big group like that, and you're going to get some spectacular behavior, bold, fun cory groups. Look at these full gold guppies. Look at that. Boom, they just shine. I know on camera some of the males are looking like they're like tuxedo, but in person, that's covered with a goldy iridescence, kind of that dark back half of the body. Here are the trout Gadeids that we just got in a little while ago. I brought these in from Aquarium Glacier. Trying another source for these. I can never find enough to keep them in stock. This is a very popular fish, and they don't have large numbers of young, so they're always scarce. Gadeids are kind of slow reproducers. So glad to have these in from Aquarium Glacier. Albino koi guppies. Bright, happy fish. It's hard to go wrong with them. Look, the whole tank went over there. Look at that. The whole tank is like food. There must be food coming here. They're used to food going down there, and they are hungry. A nice looking group of Odessa barbs, if I do say so myself, and they're just going to keep getting better. Better and better. These are hobbyist bred and raised, and I'm thrilled to have them. The males are going to get even darker on the top and bottom to contrast with that bright red in the middle of the body. Odessas are stunning. Well, if you like rice fish, you came to the right place. Here is a nice tank of galaxy rice fish. Nice and bright and white. Okay, here's the normal aquarium string gear true day. So as you can see, they don't hold a candle to the RO4s. I mean, they're still neat fish and all that, but yeah, they don't have those bright colored up tips. And then in the back here, look at that horde of Corydoras. It's Corydoras delphax, we think. Here's another fish we do really well. So I'm very proud of our work on these. These are Otocinclus, just common ottos, but we source them well, we fatten them up, we get them healthy, and I think they're going to thrive for you. They thrive for almost all of our customers. That's a fish we work on really hard to do a good job. Polar blue parrot cichlids, an absolute horde of them. Personable, small, great wet pets, not super aggressive as cichlids go. I think they're a great option for someone that wants a personable pet. Look at the belly on this one. Starting to turn that orangey red color means that fish probably wants to spawn. All right, I'm happy to show you this group of Xenotoca dodri. Look at all of those babies. These guys are breeding up a storm. Absolutely prolific colony. And one of the prettier of the Gadeids for sure. I mean, not now, they're just little, and those are females. But the males, when they color up, stunning. Well, the 204 flash pleco here just happens to be out enough to get some footage from him. So we'll give you a quick glimpse of that pleco. There he is. This is a Panoculus species. In my experience, one of the more outgoing during the day, so you'll see these more than others. And they love chewing on wood, so give them some wood. I like seeing this. This is Rhinogobius uchuensis. And I just love seeing the fat bellies on the glass. Look at that. Those are some chonkers. Oh, those are good, healthy fish. That makes me super happy. And here's what they look like from the front. Neat looking Rhinogobius species. Here's our breeding colony of full charcoal guppies. Look at the size of those females. These guys produce big females that have big batches. This is a neat one. This is the darter tetra. Characidium. That's the genus. And I just think they're neat. Just another kind of tetra, different characin, different swimming cadence. Not much of a swim bladder, so they kind of like hop around the bottom and perch around and are more goby-like than tetra-like. Okay, I promised you a look of Rhinogobius jouy. Here they are. Maybe the prettiest Rhinogobius. Look at this guy. You can mostly see him. I mean, he's kind of in the plants, but you can see the reds on him and that bright white face. Really, really pretty species of goby. Do you agree? Are you so pretty? Let's see, they're about to display. Anyway, Rhinogobius jouy, one of the prettiest gobies, I think, especially of the Rhinogobius, I think they're the prettiest that I've seen. Here's another goby. This is one you don't see every day. This is Leveri. Totally different genus than the Rhinogobius. Interesting looking fish. Look at the pattern on the fins and the funky faces. Gobies are so much fun. Okay, that's a Chilothrina blairi there that we raised up from a little baby. There are some beautiful guppies there, but what I really want to show you here is these ornatus. These Stiphodon ornatus down there. Big horde of them. These ones are especially fat and sassy. These are ready to go. These don't need more time. And ornatus is not too expensive, so they should work out. Okay, this is our breeding colony of blonde Vienna swordtail guppies. They're blonde, they're Vienna, and they're sword, and look at them. They're doing great. These are babies that we've raised up, so this is our first and second, maybe even third generation of this strain that we've been doing here at Dan's Fish. I just like them. Kind of different, you know, different than your average guppy with that bottom sword. And neat, bright, bold colors. These are Xiphophorus helleri from Atoyac that we raised. So get a little breeding colony of these going in here. I like the Atoyac. I like that kind of calico spotting that they get. These are the yellowtail Congo tetras. These come from the Congo, obviously, but they're different than your average Congo tetra. Nice white seams on the top and anal fin, dorsal anal fin. Trident tail with yellow. Just because I can't get enough of them, here's another tank of Stiphodon anniae. They're doing fabulous for us. Like, this was a great shipment of the anniae. They took care of them. They did really, really well. So look at all these happy little gobies. Just pan across. Some are colored, some aren't. Some are males, some are probably females. And but the bellies, the size, that's what I'm concerned about, the health. And they look good. Red tuxedo koi guppies. Talk about bright and colorful, and these will appear. Man, look at the reds on those. These are the golden gobies. Mugilogobius rexi. Peaceful, small, and really cool. They're going to become bright gold with black accents on the fins when they finally settle in and finish settling down. Oh, wow. Let's just take a moment and appreciate the Synepa red pencilfish. Look at these. These are one of these incredible new species of pencilfish that has come out recently. And they are stunning. Look at these guys. The last couple times we showed them, they were still fairly new, and I don't think they were fully colored, but I think they're fully colored now. Now that is a stunning pencil for sure. And these are the Rio Amaya pencilfish, another of the like super red pencils that have recently been discovered and come on the market. And these are not to be outdone by the Synepas. They're both just so pretty. Look at that. And in both of these tanks, we've got a little breeding trap going on. See if we can collect some eggs. That'd be awesome if we could get them breeding. And provided we even have females, I'm not quite sure. But, oh man, these are worth every penny. Check them out. So pretty. Here is a current group of Congo spotted puffers. These are not available yet. We still have a little bit of time to get them nice and fat and sassy and healthy, but they're doing pretty well. These have not eaten for 24 hours. And see how good their body weight is? That's what we're looking for. We want them to hold their weight. We want them to be nice and chunky. We want them to have nice solid poops, which they do. You have to trust me on that one. No one's pooping right now, but I've seen it. Anyway, Congo spotted puffer is going to make excellent pets. And maybe, I don't know, they're only a few days out, I think. They're looking pretty darn good. Hey, you. Hey, you. Hey, you. Hey, you. I'm really happy with this batch. Then last of all is this aquarium of, I was going to say albino bushy nose, but they have dark eyes. So bushy nose, which are probably blue-eyed lemons, but I'm going to have to look a little closer. Well, we did it. We got through the tanks. That's most of what we have here at dansfish.com. If you saw something you liked, it's all for sale. I want to take a moment to thank our customers, also thank the members of the channel, you Fishmonger crew members. Appreciate you very much. Until next time, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.